What is up? What's good? Welcome in to the OnlyBets Sports Podcast, Monday edition, your happy Memorial Day sports podcast edition here alongside Stern Bets. I'm the Prince of Picks. We should be joined by Drew DeLucchi here shortly. We have got an action-packed show lined up for you guys today. And what a weekend we had in the sports world over the last few days. So we'll be sure to cover that here, give a quick recap here shortly. But today, of course, we got the Major League Baseball in action. NBA playoffs, Game 5 tonight Game 4 with the Knicks and the Cavs. Knicks looking to sweep the Cavs tonight. We'll see what our thoughts are on that here shortly. Of course, NHL playoffs as well in action tonight. We got the WNBA and a little bit of soccer action. Soccer is going to start winding down here over the next several days until we start getting into the international break where teams are going to be starting to tune up for the World Cup here coming up shortly. So, of course, we're going to have a World Cup play today here at the end as well. So, got a lot of things for you guys to cover in the show here. And let me go ahead and pass it over to my co-host here, Mr. Stern Betts. Mr. Mosh, good morning, sir. Happy Monday. Happy Memorial Day. How are we doing out there in Philly, the city of brotherly love? What's it looking like, and how's your weekend?
My weekend was pretty good, enjoying the day. Thank you guys for anybody who served, especially those who lost their lives. I did serve. I wasn't in the American military, but I do feel deeply
Yes, I'm
about
sorry.
this day.
Sorry to interrupt you. I totally
No.
forgot about that, Mosh. Yes, thank you for your service. My God, I'm so sorry about that. Thank you for your service. No, it's very important to me as well. I always want to make sure anybody that served in the military, I'm huge in that. Both my grandfather and my uncle both served in the military as well, so I'm huge on that. And my gratitude is is limitless for those who have served. And so, thank you, sir, for your contributions, your service to the country.
Yeah, and this isn't something that you'll hear about a lot, but it really stinks for the most part. Listen, I'm not saying that there isn't good times, and I'm not saying it's not worth it, but it really isn't a great time overall. It is a lot of sacrifice, and especially when you're overseas and you're not seeing your family for a while. It's an important and really ridiculously hard job. So thank you all for going out and doing your duty. So anyway, let's get into it. What do you want to recap? I mean, last night we had crazy basketball action. Why don't we start with that? Because I'm sure that you're prepared with basketball.
Yeah, I am. That I am definitely prepared. Yeah, Spurs Thunder, of course, last night, Game 4. Spurs ended up tying this series up 2-2. And look, this is just a heavyweight bout. I've said it since the Game 1 of this series. These are just two teams that are just elite at what they do. And you're just seeing haymakers being thrown back and forth between these two teams. Metaphorically, of course, hopefully it doesn't actually get to that because then we'll start to see some suspensions and the series might not be as good. But in any case here, these teams are just awesome. I mean, these are the best two teams remaining in the playoffs, in my opinion. I think in most people's opinions. And this thing, I think, is going 7 games. Obviously, 6 is the limit, is the minimum here, but I kind of have a feeling this is going 7. It's just so hard to differentiate between the two teams here. I think the Thunder need to improve on getting a secondary scorer. I think Chet needs to step up. I mean, SGA is asked to do a lot offensively, and I think he's going to need some help here if the Thunder really want to, increase their odds of winning this series. But other than that, I mean, Wemby's doing what he does. He's just unbelievable. Having a breakout year, we already had high expectations for him, but these playoffs are just taking him to another level. And so I'm super excited to see what happens in Game 5 tomorrow night for that one. But yeah, just an all-time series so far for me.
Are we seeing? It feels kind of like the other playoff teams have petered out from what we're seeing with OKC, like the Celtics, for instance, where if they're only shooting 30%, they're going to lose, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, I think that's a problem right now for the Thunder. I think scoring is a problem for them. Like I said, outside of SGA, there's really nobody that they can count on. Now, of course, they do have a couple of injuries with AJ Mitchell and Jalen Williams being sidelined right now for the Thunder, but still, they need somebody else to help carry the load offensively. This Spurs team is too good defensively for you to just have one primary scorer and nobody else to help. So, but we'll see, man. Game 5 is going to be in OKC. The Thunder, of course, are an elite team in general, but even more so at home. So I expect their defensive energy to step up. And we'll see if the Spurs can have a secondary scorer outside of Wemby. I think that's also going to be critical here in Game 5.
Yeah, you know what? Do you mind if we just go straight into the NBA today?
Yeah, we can definitely do
into
that.
it. I think
Sure.
because I just kind of want to talk about what the Knicks are going to be able to do tonight, and I'm not I don't know. As a fan, I'm very conflicted. I'm not really sure which direction I want to go in. I can't trust the Knicks. Everything that I've seen so far this year has told me don't trust the Knicks. Yes. Are they on an incredible streak? Yes. Is the public on them? Yes. And that's what worries me. What do you got?
Yeah, I was with you up until the last game, and I think what this is I'm fading Cleveland more so than I'm backing the Knicks. As much as I don't trust the Knicks, I don't trust the Cavs even more. And I saw some quitting them in the last game in Game 3, and so I'm worried about the Cavs mentality here. I don't know if James Harden is really the leader that you want to dig you out of the foxhole. I'm not sure if that's just not really his mentality. I think he's honestly more of a front runner at this point of his career. I think when the going gets tough, he kind of seems to disappear. And if you're asking Donovan
Say
Mitchell,
hello to Philly.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, you know better than anyone. And so, as we are talking about Donovan Mitchell, I think that's just too much. You're asking way too much for him at this stage of his career to be able to carry this team past an elite Knicks team. Let's not get this twisted. This Knicks team is very good. Now, the problem during the season was they were up and down. They had inconsistencies, and so that led us to believe, like, okay, can we really trust this team? Are they really as good as we think they are? But when you look at this roster, the way that it's constructed, this is a very, very good team. And I do think they're going to be competitive in the NBA Finals. Obviously, they're up 3-0. You have to expect they're going to make it. For me personally, I'm on them. I think they sweep it tonight. I'll take the Knicks straight up on the money line at minus 130. I think they get it done. And again, that's more of a fade on Cleveland. I think Cleveland is done. I just think mentally they're done. I think that game one blowing lead in the fourth quarter, I think it's still affecting them. It seems like they just look lethargic. They just look at times. They just look completely out of energy. And I think over the duration of the game, I think the Knicks just have too much for them personally. So I'll take the Knicks to get the job done. If you want to play anything for the Cavs tonight, I would say maybe first quarter. Right, you have to expect at least something from them in the first quarter. I would think. Maybe a first quarter on the spread, money line, something like that. But throughout the duration of the game, I think the Knicks are just going to be too much, and I kind of feel like they've kind of stolen their heart. And I hate to say that about a professional team, but I just all signs are pointing to a Knicks sweep here. So give me the Knicks on the money line minus 130.
Yep, don't mind it. A little bit sketched out by it, like I said before, when the public is on the Knicks, and I've been on the Knicks, and I'm a fan of the Knicks, then it just doesn't usually work out. But I do tend to agree with you. Do you have any leans on the over or under? And also, Brock Newsom is listening right now, and if you want to come on, no pressure, feel free. We'd love to have you on. Sooner or later, we're going to have a DFS segment on our show with him. I don't know how regularly or when that would be, but this man is a DFS expert that I would love to bring into our fans and our listeners, because it's honestly, it's really valuable. I was getting into DFS a few months ago, kind of fell off the last few weeks, but looking to get back on eventually. Anyway, sorry. Do you have any leans on the over or under in this game? And yes, I do have a model play after.
Yeah, yeah, awesome, cool. Yeah, I'm very much looking at the over. I don't think these teams are especially the Cavs defensively. They've kind of fallen off of a cliff, and the Knicks have been hot offensively. So I'm going to continue to ride the Knicks trend here, and I think if Cleveland's going to have a chance, they're going to have to kind of shoot better than what they have been shooting. So yeah, I like the over in this one.
Okay, that was a leading question, and I should have told you the model pick ahead of time. So there's two paths that I believe that we see in under 218.5 here. One is a complete blowout, right? Cavs stop trying, third, fourth quarter, and it's over, just over. Knicks aren't going to put, if the Knicks are up by 20 or 30 points in the fourth quarter, I don't think that they're going to continue riding it until the wheels fall off. I don't think it's worth it for them. And then the other scenario is the Cavs defense actually steps up and slows down the Knicks. Just a small little lean there, but just wanted to get that out there.
I guess I would be more committal to maybe the Knicks team total over there in that case. I'm not sure what that line is at, but if I were to
Which
play
we have
anything,
played in the series. We have played
yeah,
that successfully in the series. To be fair, I think it may have gone into overtime for us to hit that, but it did hit.
right. Either way, it's it. So we'll take it. You're right about that. It did go into overtime, but yeah, if anything, that's the way I would lean. But I get your scenario too, and it very well could go over. So I'm not really committal or committed, I should say, on the game total over or under per se. But if I were to play anything, like I said, I'd probably be leaning more towards the Knicks team total over.
Cool. How about we switch over to the WNBA? while we wait for our friend. Well, he might not come today, but if he does, we'll give him as much time as possible to get into baseball, which I am very excited about. Hard slate, honestly, to get into. Not a lot of clear options for plays, but I think we did a good job. But why don't we go into the WNBA and then NHL, and then we'll finish up with baseball today.
Yeah, for sure. So the W here, we got a 2 game slate. We have the Portland Fire taking on the New York Liberty, and then the Golden State Valkyrie hosting the worst team in the league record-wise, the Connecticut Sun. Both of these teams come in as minus 12.5 favorites to the Liberty and the Valkyrie. But the way that I'm going to play this, I'm actually going to do a multi-sport parlay here. I'm going to parlay one of these games with the NHL playoffs tonight. So you get a 2-for-1 here, and then Moshe, I'll get your thoughts on both of these. But what I'm looking at here, I'm going to take the Liberty straight up on the money line. They've already played the Fire twice. They did lose one of those games, but that was a shocking loss. The second game, they beat them by 20-plus points. I expect a similar thing again tonight. So if you want to take them on the spread, I don't hate it. But as far as this parlay goes, I'll just take them to win on the money line. I'm going to parlay that with the NHL game tonight between the Hurricanes and the Canadiens. I'm going to take the Hurricanes on a draw no bet. And you're going to get those two combined at minus 114. So you take the Hurricanes Toronto bet with the New York Liberty in the money line. It comes in at minus 114. I like the Canadians kind of straight up on the money line tonight. I think I'm sorry, not the Canadians, the Hurricanes. I like the Hurricanes on straight up on the money line if you wanted to play that instead. I do think they get the job done tonight. I think they're the better team than the Canadians, in my opinion. But I'll take them on a draw no bet here. We'll get push insurance in case this goes into overtime. But again, we're going to parlay that with the Liberty on the money line, who are heavy favorites. That's going to kind of boost our odds here. We get it at minus 114.
Oh, I don't think it's just your opinion. I think they are truly the better team. They were coming off of, I think it was a historic extended rest, if I'm not mistaken, between the rounds of the playoffs. So they were really rusty coming into game one. They just weren't themselves. I think we know who the better team is. Honestly, so what I did with your parlay, instead of taking Carolina draw no bet, I just took them straight up on the money line. For an extra
Yeah, sure.
juice. Like I'm like, all right, whatever. There's draw no bet. It wasn't showing up on my book, and I was like, whatever. I trust the Hurricanes to get it done tonight. So I'm with that 100%. And by the way, one play in the WNBA. I'm not making plays in the WNBA, but if I was, it would be New York on the spread. I really see a lot of value there. I was considering dropping it by half, maybe like a -5 or -6.5 to kind of play it safe, like I used to do in the NBA, but. I definitely like that look. They are technically my team. It's New York, baby.
Yeah, they should pummel the Fire. It shouldn't be close. So I think you should be safe covering spread. It is a big spread. You always have to worry taking big spreads in the W, especially early in the season. But yeah, I think the Liberty are considerably better than Portland. So
Yeah, well, the way I kind of see it is if you're at home and you're up by a lot, I think teams start to give out, and I think New York is one of those places that it gets harder and harder to go in deep into games with energy when you're getting.
Do they play at Madison Square Garden? I don't think so. Do they? I'd be curious to know that actually. No, I'm looking at it Barclays Center. Okay, so they play where the Brooklyn Nets play. Okay. Okay.
Sorry,
Either way,
Nets.
yeah. Yeah, sorry, Nets. Yeah.
No comment on you.
Yeah, I tried to give them the extra Madison Square Garden advantage, but it's not the same.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But honestly, New York is still that type of place.
Like, yeah, it's still that type of place. 100%. Still New York. Yep, I'm with you.
And if especially if you're coming from Portland, you ever hear these stories of these like college kids going into like the Final Four or like and then they just go into these party cities where they're, for the first time in their lives, they're really surrounded by a lot of energy. And
how do you stay focused, right? Like
it's so hard
you
to
know
stay
what I mean?
focused. We talk about it. And I mean, I have to imagine there's a bit of that anytime a team from not a big city goes to, New York, LA, or Miami. Anyway, let's talk soccer a little bit. I see that you have a play here. What do you got for us?
Let me pull up my play. I got one pick today in soccer again. We're getting to the lighter stages of soccer, so we don't have a whole lot to pick from here until we start getting to our international friendlies. But we do have one game later this afternoon. It's going to be a 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff. We got the Scottish championship here, where basically these two teams are playing for promotion. So it's a promotion match between St. Mirren and Partick Thistle. This is the second leg of a two-leg home and away. Right now they're tied 1-1 on the aggregate scoreline here. I'm going to take Partick Thistle on a double chance at plus 100. Partick Thistle's in really good form. They're undefeated in several matches. And I'm just going to trust their form right now against the St. Mirren side that is okay themselves, but Partick is just on a run right now, and I'm gonna trust that run for Partick. We're gonna get a double chance, so give me Partick Thistle to avoid a defeat. We're getting it at plus money here, plus 100.
Always a good look. I think when you have heavy favorites, public gets on them, line moves, getting probably over 50 under 50% odds at 50 over 50% of the price is a great
Yeah, I
option
don't think these two
always.
teams should be separated with the odds suggest here. I don't think. I think it's mispriced personally. I don't think there's that much difference between these two sides. So
Any value on sprinkling maybe on the money line?
yeah, absolutely. You can definitely sprinkle them. I think it's like what 500, 600, something like that. I believe last I checked. You can
All
probably
right,
confirm that for me. But yeah, I'm definitely sprinkling a little on the money line for sure.
I'll put a few bucks on that. What about World Cup? Or do you want to get to that at the end of the show?
We'll get to that at the end. Yeah, let's do it at the end.
All right. Sounds good. All right, let's get into baseball today. Like I said before, it was really kind of a hard slate for me to go through and find. Obviously, there are some aces on the mound, so I'm just going to pick one here. Jacob Mizorowski. Now, this man is filthy. If you're watching him pitch, it is fun. It's like watching Paul Skeens in a way, where you're just watching incredible elite talent pitch after pitch after pitch, and it's so visibly apparent at how good these guys are. But this is a good bounce back spot against the Brewers at home facing the Cardinals. Like I said, Mizorowski is filthy right now. He's pitched 4 straight scoreless outings in a row. He's facing Matthew Liberatore on the mound for St. Louis. He has given up 4 runs in each of his last 2 starts, which is a lot more indicative of his underlying metrics, right? Mizorowski has a barrel rate of 2.7% with a 32.7% hard hit rate and a whopping 39.3% strikeout rate. Compare that to Liberatore's 10% barrel rate, 44.2% hard hit rate, and 19% strikeout rate. The difference of these two teams, just too much. I'm going to take the first leg of a parlay, Brewers first 5 money line. I'm going to take Phillies first 5 money line as my second field here. They're facing Padres on the road in San Diego, facing Randy Vasquez. He has some real red flag metrics here. I really like negative regression, which I think we just started to see. He has a 12.5% barrel rate, 45% hard hit rate, and just a 20% strikeout rate. We're getting Jesus Luzardo for Philly. Under the hood, everything looks really good. 6% barrel rate, 30% hard hit rate, 28% strikeout rate. Philly doesn't really typically hit well early in games yet. Last year, they were monsters early in games, but Padres are second to last. So I just think they need to get 1 or 2. Luzardo's ground ball rate's 50%. I think this is a really good spot. I was going to try to attack both of these games on the first 5, first 7, something like that, maybe on the run line. Just couldn't get the value on the Brewers side where it was pushed to minus 140. Still see some value on Philly, first 5 money line win only, but just give me the push conditions. First 5 money line Brewers, first 5 money line Phillies, plus 140. I'm going to put 0.75 units on this one. How do you feel about this one, Prince?
Yeah, I mean, if you like it, I like it, right? So, I mean, honestly, this slate is a little bit confusing for me. It's a little bit of a weirder slate today, so I don't really feel great about anything per se. I do have a play, but yeah, I mean, of course, if you're playing it, I'm playing it, dude.
Yeah. Speaking of things that I think can go wonky, just just putting it out there for the win up 2 challenge, I put Colorado at plus 260. If you're going to play it on DK, I think you can get this at plus 266. We're going to talk about it a little bit later for my home run pick of the day, but I have a feeling the Rockies might go up early in this one. Just putting that out for a wonky little bit of a Monday blues for maybe a team that is coming off going into a letdown spot. Prince, what do you got for the baseball slate today?
Yeah, so we're gonna go back to our usual team total parlay. I got a 2-pick parlay today for you guys. We're looking at the Padres taking their team total over 2.5. They're taking on the Phillies. When we're looking at the stats here, I think the Phillies come into this one as a bit of a subpar pitching staff, so I'll take the Padres to score 3+ runs in that one. And then I'm also looking at the Rangers. Their team total over 2.5 as well. We're looking at the Rangers. They're taking on the Astros. Again, the Astros, one of the worst pitching staffs in the league. So give me the Padres, Rangers, both teams at home, both teams to get 3+ runs. We'll get that at -112.
Well, I hope it comes after the 5th inning.
Right.
To be fair, Luzardo basically either you're going scoreless, shutout against, you're not scoring anything against him, or you're scoring at least 3. Both of these bullpens are suspect a little bit. I actually see value both on Philadelphia and Houston a little bit on the run lines if you wanted to sprinkle a little bit as a hedge. But I do like higher scoring games overall in both of these scenarios. So let's roll, baby. Let's get to it. Home run picks of the day. Let's just get to it. I'm excited about this one. Prince, I'm going to let you go first if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm gonna go back to the Padres and Phillies game. Give me Manny Machado of the Padres. They hit a home run at +500. Again, I'm just gonna fade the Phillies bullpen here, and I like Manny Machado to go yard here. I think it's a good opportunity for him. The weather should be decent too as well in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I was looking at this as a potential. I was looking at maybe Kyle Schwarber or Adolis Garcia, who's really come on lately, but I ended up going with a different look. I'm gonna go with TJ Rumfield. Now, Brock, you play DFS. If you could pick TJ Rumfield, I would suggest putting him on a lineup today. He is going to be facing Emmett Sheehan, who is in his right doing really well, but he has some underlying metrics that are very questionable. He has an over 10% barrel rate, and he's a righty, which I'm gonna be relevant in just a second, Your Honor. He has 10 or 11 miles per hour wind blowing out to right. Sheehan carries a little bit of a home run bug this year. 9 home runs in 9 games so far. 7 of those are against lefties. TJ Rumfield, perfect pull conditions for him. He is a lefty. He has hit all 7 of his home runs so far this year against righties. He has just had a significant streak snapped. He had 5-game hitting streak with multiple hits in a lot of them. And that ended. He just went no hit last time out. The last time that he had back-to-back games without a hit was April 26th. So I like him as a hits, runs, RBIs prop. I like him in general to get a hit. If he doesn't get a hit in the first at bat, I'm definitely going to be sprinkling that live. But I think he's live for a home run at +740. Sorry, that was a little bit long, but I got excited. I was like researching deep in the crevices of the home run props for this one.
I always get excited for a +740 play.
Oh, that was fun. All right. World Cup. What do you got?
Yes, sir. We are here to do the World Cup play today. The new segment here as we wind down towards the World Cup. Let me pull up filibuster for a second, Motion. Give me 1 second here.
World Cup, World Cup, World Cup. I'm really bad at filibustering. My brain goes blank, and I just keep talking, mostly because I can't stand the awkward silences. But yeah, some sprinkles today. If you are looking, Yankees, don't mind them. I think Waka's getting a little bit too much respect at home. Not saying it's a bad play, but Royals bullpen's not really where I want to end up. Chicago, Pittsburgh is going to be a fun game. Let me just look for one more lean for the people, and then I'll get out of your hair. Let me see if there's anything good over here. I see some value. I've already mentioned the Astros, Phillies. I would go with the Mets. I would sprinkle a little bit on the +140 on the run line there. They got their ace on the mound. I think that's a pretty good look for a spot for McLean. I really like him, like what he's bringing. All right. Sorry, Prince. Go back. You're
Yeah,
up.
love it. Okay, cool. Yep. Okay, good. So our World Cup play today. We are just 17 days out from the first kickoff of the FIFA World Cup. Your play today is going to come from Japan. We're looking at Japan here. I'm looking at their top team scorer. Give me Daisen Maeda +700 to be Japan's top goal scorer. I think we're getting really good value here for a player that has been a little bit inconsistent throughout the season, but He is in excellent form right now, having scored 9 goals in his last 7 games for Celtic. So he has really turned it on as of late. I think we're getting really good value here for a Japanese side that should be putting in a lot of goals in their group. They have a very scoring-friendly group in which I believe they should be able to put up goals in each game. So I like Dyson Maeda here. I think we're getting really good value for a player that's currently in form. He's got a lot of EPL suitors. He's probably going to end up in the Premier League next season. So this is a player that is right now in hot form. I'm going to ride the hot hand here, or the hot foot, I should say. Give me Dyson Maeda to be Japan's top goal scorer at plus 700. And then Mosh, I did start a new segment. It's going to be called our World Cup Story of the Day. We started that on Friday while you were off. I'm going to go ahead and give another story here. But before I do that, any thoughts on this Dyson Maeda play for Japan?
No, but I like the third best odds on the board. It's always a solid look when you're looking at probabilities of who's going to be the probable outcome. Third and fourth on the board for plus 750 is never a terrible option.
Yep, that's exactly part of my thought process as well. So cool. Glad we're on the same page of that. All right. So your World Cup story today comes from the very first World Cup in 1930 in Uruguay. I'm going to read this exactly as it is written in the article. The title is called Missing the Boat and Using Morse Code. And here we go. Because commercial flights were not yet a viable option, European teams had to cross the Atlantic Ocean together on a single luxury cruise liner, using the top deck to jog and practice drills. Egypt was scheduled to be the only African nation in the tournament. However, their ship from Europe was delayed by bad weather, causing them to literally miss the connecting boat to South America. Left stranded, they had to send an official apology to FIFA via Morse code, leaving the tournament with an awkward, uneven pool of 13 teams. So quite a story there. They had to send Morse code to FIFA to let them know that they weren't going to make it. Just shows you just how much we've advanced here in 100 years. Couldn't make the trip, couldn't make the ship, so they missed the World Cup entirely. That's just quite a wild story. And unfortunately, Egypt was not able to participate. But that is going to be a World Cup story of the day. We got better ones here throughout the week, so stay tuned for those.
That was fun. I did not know where you were going with that, but that was fun. I'm happy to hear that one.
Yeah, these stories are wild. They go in random directions, so you just got to keep up. But yeah, trust me,
I know,
there's some way more wild stories. I want to wait for Drew to come on and have all three of us react to some of the more crazier stories.
that's fair. All right, we're gonna go to question of the day. Do you have any ones? I have a list in front of me if you don't, but do you have any ones that you want to get to?
So I do, but again, I want to wait for Drew for this one. So I'll wait maybe till tomorrow to give the question. So whatever you got, let's go ahead and do it.
All right. What's your go-to strategy when competing in a game?
Ooh, okay. My go-to strategy. So okay, I'll answer it the best way that I can, and you tell me if I'm answering the question or not. So for me, right, I can only go off of like my personal experiences playing sports, right? Like I played a lot of soccer, I played a lot of basketball, were the two main sports that I played throughout my life. And so for me, I guess I was not a good defender. So my strategy would be more on the offensive side, right? I would look to either you set people up, kind of like give assists, or even score myself. But I guess my strategy would be more offensive. I don't know if that really answers the question or what you're it does it or no. I mean, help me out here, Motion.
This is an open-ended question, man. How about this? I'll answer. I guess what popped into my mind. This is just it's a brain teaser. So the first thing that pops into your mind is what you're supposed to say. There is no correct answer.
Okay. So I guess I'm always on the side of offensive. I guess if I
Okay,
if I,
so
if
I
I were
am
to coach or
the
anything,
exact opposite.
okay.
I'm the exact opposite. I'm a stark defender, always handsy. Dennis Rodman was my hero like growing up defensively.
Oh, nice. A little Bill
Um,
Lambier in there.
so yeah, so my strategy is always to focus on what the other person needs to do to win and then block all possible paths for that in as effective and brutal as a manner as I can. It's not fun playing
Nice.
against me, but you know what? So I'll give you a fun example.
Yeah, I would hate
I
playing against you. Sorry, go ahead. I know exactly what you. I get the description in my head right now. Oh my
yeah,
god,
yeah. My wife
you're the
hates it.
ones you're the ones I avoid. Yeah, I try to have someone set a screen so you can get you off of me. Because you're
Yes,
just smothering me the whole game. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
but I will lower the shoulder and go through the screen too. You have to make the person think twice. Even if I get the foul, that's okay if they think twice about sending a screen on me. So my wife and I played Settlers of Catan. Are you familiar with the game?
I am familiar of it. I don't know the rules of it, but I've heard about it.
Essentially, it's a building game. You have to get to 10 points by building houses and cities or whatever. And she's always mad at me because I'm never playing in her eyes to win. I'm never playing on my own game. I am just actively stopping her from winning, which in turn makes me win. But she's pissed because it's like a stranglehold. She's like, I can't do anything. What do you? So eventually, though, she learned a lot of my strategies, and now we have really competitive games, and it's a lot of fun. But it definitely made her level up after like a few years of just losing game after game after game. It was
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
I'm the one that'd probably be on the aggressive side. I'd probably attack too soon or something. You know, like I played different games. Like I don't know if you're ever like in the old computer games. There's a game called Age of Empires. I'm not sure if you've ever
Sure,
heard of it. Yeah,
sure,
you
sure,
know,
sure.
stuff like that, right? And I would always try to build an army real quick and go attack, but my army wasn't strong enough, and so I'd get slaughtered. But my mentality is like attack, attack, attack. Then they would come and destroy my whole, city and village, and it burned to the ground. And my game would be over in like 30 minutes. So that's I was always a very aggressive like mentality in that sense, but more so on the offensive side. Like I guess if we were translated to sports, right? Like I said, like I try to I try to set people up more so than anything. That was kind of my game. Like, I was pretty good at passing and assisting and stuff like that. So I would look for the gaps in the defense and try to, see if I could, send a through ball to somebody in soccer or, send somebody up in basketball near the hoop or in their spot, trying to get them in their spot that they like, stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, dude, those defenders, those hardcore defenders, they are the hardest people to play against, no matter what sport you're in, because, you just don't get a break, man. Like
Nope.
the intensity is just
You have to make them feel so.
on
So
another
here's the trick.
freaking level, man.
Here's the trick, and this is what my dad taught me. All right. You need to make someone off their game. You're not going to be able to beat them one on one physically or athletically forever. So, what you need to do is apply pressure and knock them off their game. If you can find an angle where they're just a little bit off, you make them go to that angle over and over again. So, what you do is you make a trap and you let them walk into it. For instance, if I'm defending somebody, and all right, Mikey, I heard you. I'll be there in just a second. All right, tell him no more hitting. Sorry, guys. I'm watching my kids while my wife's out of town. So like for instance, if I see that somebody has like a problem or like for instance, on like the corner left corner of like the of a basketball court, right? And he's shooting there and he just can't make that shot. I will actively try to give him space there and then bum rush him just so he feels pressure. He never knocks it down and he just keeps going to that the whole game, thinking that eventually it's got to fall. So he thinks that he may have the upper hand over and over again, but really, I'm just letting him play bad basketball.
Yeah, if we're picking teams, you're my number one pick. But
No, no,
otherwise,
no. I'd like your
if
number
you're
3 or 4 pick because I'm not the most skilled
you're the role
athletically
player, you're the
necessarily.
role player.
I,
Yeah,
I,
you play a role.
I'm a great role player. I'm a phenomenal role player. I'm not the
Yeah, but
most
in pickup basketball, it depends what level of basketball you talk about. But you talk about pickup basketball, those role players are essential, and a lot of times they can be more impactful than your star player, depending on who your star player is. Right? If he's somebody who's selfish and thinks they're better than everyone, whether he is or not, he could be a ball hog, right? Just jacking up shots every time he gets down the court, and that's no fun to play with. Like I've played with so many different people who have been number one, picks you when you're picking teams. And the guy ends up sucking because he just shoots the ball every freaking time down the court. It's like nobody else gets involved. And it's those role players that a lot of times end up being more impactful than the freaking star player themselves. But man, I'm telling you, yeah, that defensive intensity, I want them on my team, but I don't want no part of that. I wouldn't want no part of you. I would do everything that good to avoid you because yes, to your point, you can absolutely get someone out of their game with just that level of relentlessness. It's the relentlessness. It's the no breaks. It's like no matter where you go, this dude is like clinging to you.
Yep.
Oh no, can't
So
do it,
I
man.
will say the last time I played basketball, it really backfired on me. I was 220, 230. That's how much I weigh. I'm 6'2", so I'm not fat, but like I'm pretty big. But I was playing against this guy who also wasn't, he's not fat. He's very built, strong, not as athletic as I was, but he was 100 pounds more than me. And I was guarding him in a game, and I was on him and I was pissing him off, and he was off his game and he was really mad. So what he did was he cheated and he started lowering his shoulder into my chest, right? So what I did was I started setting screens so that he would run through me and I would get the foul, which only made him more upset. So one time, instead of like slowing down or stopping, he flattened me and my back went out and I was done for the next 6 months and I have not played basketball since.
Oh man, that's one way to teach the lesson, I guess. But you're, oh man, such an irritant. Oh my god, no, 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 no. You know what? Since we're on this topic, this is kind of pretty much in line with my question was going to be. So I might as well just go ahead and give it out here. We got some time here. We're still under our limit here. So let me just pose this question to you then of what I was going to give out here. All right. So what sports did you play as a kid? This is like a three-part question. What sports did you play as a kid? What's the highest level that you ever achieved in any sport? And what have you learned? What's the most important thing you've learned from playing sports? I'll go first just to kind of give you some context of what I'm asking here. So for me, I played a lot of basketball, a lot of soccer as a kid. Those were the two sports that I played the most of. But you got to remember, like back then, we didn't have social media, we didn't have internet, we didn't have cell phones, right? So the only way you had fun was either like you watch TV, you play video games, or you were outside. And like so for me, I was outside constantly. So we played tons of sports. Me and my neighbors. Like I grew up friends with my neighbors, and we would play like football. We would play tennis. We would play golf. We would like make a little golf course in his front yard. We would play golf, and we'd be out there in the snow playing football. Like we were just constantly outdoors. I was constantly active, constantly playing sports. But the ones that I liked the most were soccer and basketball. Those are the ones I played pretty much year round. And then as far as like competitively, I played soccer competitively from the age of 8. I was playing traveling soccer all the way through 16. So we would go around the state, playing different state tournaments, different leagues, stuff like that. And then after that ended, I ended up playing in varsity high school and also played in community college as well. And then after community college ended, I did try out for the Chicago Fire Juniors. It didn't go farther than that, but that was kind of the end of my semi-professional hopes career. But I still played in a lot of competitive leagues, outdoor, indoor, over across Northern Illinois. For about the next 10 or so years. So I have a lot of soccer experience, I would say more than anything. I also played a lot of basketball leagues, a lot of church leagues. I played basketball and then I played a lot of pickup basketball as well. I actually grew up next to one of my best friends who growing up was a D1 recruit at Drake University for basketball. So me and him would play like every day. So I learned a lot from him, and we would play in a lot of competitive games, like pickup games and stuff together. And so I was always just very, very into sports throughout my whole life. And I guess, as sports bettors, right, we didn't grow up betting on sports. We grew up playing sports, right? So our passion for sports betting is a derivative of what we grew up doing, right? So, you know, my passion in particular lies in basketball and soccer. And I guess the thing that I would say that I learned the most from sports in general would be perseverance. Just fighting through adversity, right? When things don't go your way, just continuing to stay motivated, continuing to push yourself, right? Continuing to overcome obstacles, right? For me, physically, I was always smaller and maybe not as strong as other people. So I had to find different ways to be effective, right? I had to kind of think the game a little bit more than maybe other people who relied on their athleticism more so. And so those were things that I would say, like, for me personally, meant a lot to me, like just being able to like fight through um circumstances and stuff when they don't go your way, learning to work as a team, right, overcoming things as a team, and just kind of working together through stuff. I think those are things that are very valuable lessons that you learn in sports that is really hard to learn in a lot of other areas of life. So for me, That would be my answer, but I'm curious as to what your answer is, Most.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit it on the head in terms of what was the most valuable lesson I learned, and then I'll go into like what my non-professional career was in sports multiple times. It's really creating a plan and going step by step, small incremental steps every single day towards your goal. You will be better than everyone else given time. Your athleticism, your natural talent, all of that does play a role to get you to the level ish that you are. But if you outwork every other person, guarantee you'll be better than most of them. There are some extreme examples where people's talents just athletic ability are just way beyond yours, and there's nothing you can do about that. But for anyone in and around your level, you can move up quickly by just dedicating time, step after step after step. Honestly, same lesson I learned in the army, same lessons my dad instilled on me, right? Just take one step towards a positive future of what you are looking for. Visualize it and make an actionable plan. Take one step a day and just get it done. I say that as I've fallen off working out and I really need to get into it, but I am trying to work myself back up to it using this mantra, and that's really what it is. So I had like 3 phases of sports in my life. Phase one was baseball, first love. Baseball was all I thought about, dreamed of. Baseball cards was what I played with. Stratomatic, if you know that game is, absolutely love data analytics, sports, starting with baseball. I right now, currently, right next to me, I have 25 to 35 signed balls and memorabilia from like all the games that my dad took me to growing up. It's very special to me. Cleaning out my mom's house and picking up all the old stuff. So baseball definitely number one. I went to at least 20 different stadiums, 25 different stadiums growing up. To be fair, we cheated because some of the stadiums, Veterans Park doesn't exist anymore. We went to Citizens Bank. We went twice into Philadelphia and like a few other examples like that. But I played Little League through 7th grade, and we got to All Stars. So I got picked for regional All Stars while I was in Wisconsin. And then we were playing around like big, like other All Star teams trying to compete for the Little League World Series or trying to get into the Little League World Series. I was religious growing up, Jewish, so couldn't play on Saturdays. We missed the last game of the tournament and we lost because me and my brother both, who were, I wouldn't say we were the best on the team, but we were top 4, top 5 people on the team. We were really pretty good. We were also younger than most of the other people there, so really upset about that when I was younger, but I have given it up since then. I then played football for a little bit until I shattered my collarbone playing wide receiver. That was fun. Lots of experiences there when I moved to Florida. After I shattered my collarbone and I was recommended to maybe not play contact sports again, I started getting into basketball, which wasn't really something that I ever played. Like I played pickup once in a while in the street where I grew up in Milwaukee, which was literal street ball. This wasn't church league. this was the first time that I ever played basketball. Still a stark memory. This kid bumped it off my face and then dunked it on me. And I was 12.
My God.
Yeah. It was a brutal. I grew up in the west side of Milwaukee. It was not a pleasant area to grow up.
Yeah, street ball's no joke. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, street ball's no joke.
No,
They're
but
they're
you know what?
no.
That's where I learned.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned how to play tough defense and how to really brutalize somebody by knocking them out. And if they want to play dirty, I can play dirtier because I grew up playing street ball. Whatever. Anyway, I played football. Then I switched to basketball. I switched schools in 11th grade. Came off the bench. Didn't really know how to play. I was a 6'2" judo in a Jewish school. So I made the team. But I was like the 3rd, 4th tallest guy on the team, so they didn't really, really need me. But once they saw that I was able to apply defensive pressure and really work the scheme and really play my role within the team, I quickly became captain within a year. So that was a cool transition. I really remember being basically the 6th man in my first year and then becoming captain and the primary power forward in my senior year. And that was an experience, being the power forward in a small school where, captain of the basketball team, dating a cheerleader. It was a lot of fun. A volleyball captain too. But anyway, We went into it was a private school, so they have a tournament in Florida where all the private schools from around the country all compete, or I guess across Florida, and then whoever wins across the country. Um, and we got into the quarterfinals. We were playing on the Miami Heat floor, which was really cool at the time because LeBron James was there, and we just hit our competition level. We were really good for a bunch of Jewish kids, but we got to that next level, and John Paul Jones made me flinch and went around me and dunked in my face. So that was basically the end of my basketball career, understanding that there was just, I'm good. I am not that good.
There's levels to this, right?
There's levels. I mean, and the guy ended up playing like Division II basketball in like UCF or something like that. Like he wasn't even like a Division I guy, but he was clearly the next level beyond where I was able to go in my, you know, I was already having knee and back issues. Like this wasn't like going to be a long-term thing for me, but I'm great at the JCC and whenever a pickup game applies.
Yeah, that's yeah, you know what's funny is you learn so much about playing against people who are a lot better than you. Like I would be remiss if I didn't mention, like, yeah, I grew up, my best friend was a D1 recruit. Oh my god, he would destroy me. I mean, it wasn't even close. But you learn a lot, right? You learn just about yourself. Like, I always wanted to play him. I always wanted to compete and try again and see. I mean, if I scored like 2 points on him, it was like it was a defeat because he was so good. I mean, he had the record at our high school for most 3 pointers in a season. He was just an outstanding athlete. He was just great at everything. And so I learned a lot by playing against people who were better than me. He would take me a lot. Like we would go together because he had a lot more connections to like to like a high quality basketball. And so I would go there with him a lot and we would play and I would just learn a lot. I think there's so much to learn from playing against people who are better than you. Um, just internally, you learn a lot of things, and just for the sport, you learn a lot of things too.
Have you
Um,
seen the Williams sisters movie with Will Smith?
I did. It was a while ago because it came out a while ago, right? So I remember some of it. To
I
be
mean,
honest,
the
I don't.
essentially the whole point of not the whole point, but a part of the point of the movie was he was training the older sister. He had two girls. He could only afford to train one of them, really. So what he did was he gave the older one all the lessons, and he had the younger one being taught the lessons and competing to catch up. But she had to work 2 or 3 times harder because she didn't have the actual lessons. So she had to compete against her older sister also to really nail down the sport. So at the end of the movie, it was like the older sister. I don't know. I forget which one, Venus or Serena, which one's
I think
older.
Venus is older. Yeah, Venus. I
Venus.
think.
So she was like, Venus, you're going. Venus won the tournament, whatever. And Dad goes up to her. And he's like, I'm really proud of you. And then the younger one comes up to him, and she's like, Hey, what the heck are you doing? What about me? And he's like, she's going to be a champion. You're going to be a world champion. Something like that, because the younger sibling has to work triple as hard to be able to compete with the more athletic people. And like I said before at the beginning of my answer, it's really step after step, hard work and determination will prove to be the better player overall. It just is almost every single time. Even the best players in the world don't become the best players in the world without hard work and dedication.
Yeah,
The greatest argument for this is Shaq, right? They say if Shaq's work ethic was as great as his talent or some of the other people of his era, he would probably be number one of all time. Not even close, apparently. I don't know. Like I'm not an expert into
maybe
the
he'd
whole
be able to make free
conversation.
throws at least.
One of the greatest parody movies of all time had him and Dr. Phil, who was Scary Movie 4, I think it was, or whatever it was. And it was the cold open of the movie. And they both get dropped into a dungeon. And the joke is Shaq needs to hit a free throw. Dr. Phil needs to walk him through it.
Oh my god, that's hilarious! I gotta go find that clip.
And I think it was played by both of the real, like I think it was played by Shaq and Dr. Phil. Like they were
That
in
is
on the
so
joke.
funny. Oh my god.
Uh, it's what I remember laughing so hard as a kid at that. That was hilarious. And then it's a playoff saw. I think it was one of the scary movies for sure. Anyway, we've gone off the rails long enough. 12:25. Let's get to our recap. Let me go first. Unless you have anything else to add, Prince.
No, that's all. I think that was a good insight here for the listeners. Kind of give it a little backdoor peek at our background here, and yeah, hopefully anyone young listening out there who's into sports, listen to Mosh. Dedication, hard work goes a long way. I think that's what separates the good from the great, right? Everyone can have the same amount of skill, but it's that guy who's going to work just a little bit harder who's going to make it farther. So don't let yourself down.
Nope. I got to get my kids down for a nap so that I can take them to the zoo before it closes. But before we get there, let's go Happy Memorial Day and 2-leg first 5 money line parlay. Brewers, Phillies, put them together, plus 140.75 units. My home run sprinkle of the day. Looking at the wrong sheet. Sorry. TJ Rumfield, plus 740. Prince, close us out.
Yeah, in baseball today, guys, we're looking at the Padres and the Rangers. Team total over 2.5. You get that around minus 112. Sprinkle, Manny Machado to hit a home run at plus 500. I'm going to take the New York Liberty on the money line, parlayed with the Carolina Hurricanes on a Toronto bet. That's going to come in around minus 114. In the NBA tonight, give me the Knicks straight up on the money line, minus 130. On the pitch today, we're going to go to the Scottish championship for a promotion game here. I'm going to take Partick Thistle on a double chance at plus 100. And then your FIFA World Cup play of the day, I'm going to take Japan's top goal scorer to be Daisen Maeda at plus 700. That's going to do it for us today, guys. This has been the Only Bet Sports Podcast Monday edition alongside Stern Bits. I am the Prince of Picks. We hope you guys enjoy your Memorial Day. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. We'll be back again tomorrow. Same time, same place, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, live on X at Only Bets Podcast. We appreciate you guys' support. We will talk to you all soon. Enjoy the rest of your afternoons. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.